Merry Christmas, Fixer family. It's Charmin, and today is day 9 of 12 days of a rustic Christmas, and I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful swag for your lanterns. Welcome to Fixin' 2. Here's what we need for today's project. We're going to be using one of Dollar Tree's Christmas trees. And also we're going to be using different floral picks, pieces that I've had from other projects, and some fresh one or two. Some ribbon, one came from Hobby Lobby, and the buffalo check I ordered, and I'll have it down in the link below. And some Christmas balls, and some of these twinkle lights from Dollar Tree. And also a little bonus I'm going to throw in there is showing you how to kind of doctor up these little picks with some Mod Podge and some glitter. And of course we're going to be creating the swag for the top of this particular lantern, but you can pretty much use any lantern. I got this one at Walmart, and of course our trusty hot glue gun. So the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and create our bow, because once we get the base put on with using the Christmas tree onto the lantern, we're going to then place the bow and then kind of build from there. And what I'm going to do is just measure 24 inches and create 3 pieces of the buffalo check and 3 pieces of the burlap ribbon. So we are ready to now put our bow together, and I've done tutorials on this a few times on how to make this particular bow, but I'm basically going to bring the bigger pieces, which is wider pieces, which is my burlap, and I'm going to bring it down to where it's folded down 10 inches, and then I'm going to pinch it right at the 6-inch mark. And we're going to be putting in every other ribbon. And so now I'm coming back to the buffalo check ribbon, and I'm measuring it to go down to the 15-inch mark and then folding it over just enough to get 6 inches. And that's going to make our buffalo check little tails a little bit longer than the burlap ribbon. So now once we have those kind of pinched together in our hand, we're going to just take a zip tie and pull it together. And before I pull it super tight, in case I need to kind of adjust it, I'm going to make sure that my loops are 6 inches. And so then I'm going to pull it super tight, and I like to take like a pair of scissors or something and kind of push on the bigger part of the zip tie to make sure I pull it nice and tight, and then trimming off the excess. And then we're going to just kind of fluff it out some because we're going to be bringing in some wire a little bit later, and making sure of course that we dovetail all of our little ends to make it all pretty. So now we're going to prep our Christmas tree to make this the base of our swag. Now of course we won't need the stand or the little plastic piece at the bottom, so we'll discard those. And then I'm going to take the tree and kind of fluff it out just a little bit to kind of make it look like that Christmas tree shape. And then we're going to fluff to the top, and then of course leaving the back of it flat. And so just kind of play with it until you get it exactly how you want it to look. And then I'm going to come in with some wire cutters, and we're going to cut off probably about half, maybe a little over half of our stem here. And you just kind of have to work it back and forth a little bit, and once it comes off, then of course we're going to take a little bit of hot glue and place on the top of it, because it is kind of sharp and I don't want anybody to get cut on it. So now we have our lantern here, and this particular lantern has a couple of slits in the top of it, so I'm going to take the top 2 pieces of the tree, thread them down through those holes. Now of course if it doesn't have holes and it has the little wire thing across the top, little handle, you can do it on that, but I do not want to glue anything to the lantern, because then I can take this swag off and create other swags, and nothing is permanently affixed to this lantern. So I take those 2 branches that have the wire in them and twist them up in there and, you know, tuck it up in there so that it stays. And then we're just going to kind of form it a little bit around that corner, pulling around our limbs and trying your best to kind of bend that center rod and that's in there, that aluminum rod. It is pretty sturdy though, but it might give just a little bit. And then we'll get everything just kind of fluffed out to look pretty good. And now we're ready to attach our bow. And I'm just going to be using some wire. I think this is about a 20, maybe 22 gauge wire. And because there's not anything to attach it to the back of the bow, you'll see it kind of making sure that 3 of the tails are on one side and 3 loops, and then 3 of the tails and 3 loops are on the other side of the wire, kind of taking it down through the middle. And then we're just going to flip it over and twist it a few times on the back just to make sure that it's good and secure. I kind of lost my wire in the ribbon there, but taking it, twisting it once or twice just to make sure that it stays on there. And then we're going to take that wire, and right there at the top of our Christmas tree, that's where we're just going to wrap both pieces around it and secure it nicely. All right, now that we've got our bow attached, we're ready to start kind of filling in with some of our stuff. But before we do, I want to show you a little hack, I guess you can say, to some of these greenery pieces that you get. Some, you know, might have some glitter on it, and I only had one, and I wanted the other 2 pieces that I had cut off to also have a little bit of shimmer on them. You can put shimmer in Rustic. It to me, it just kind of adds a little bit of sophisticated rustic, if you want to call it that. But I'm just going to bring over a little tissue, and that's what I'm going to use to catch the excess glitter. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a real big fan of glitter, but I do kind of like to have just a little bit of shimmer, only because glitter gets everywhere. Believe me, I think I have still got glitter on me. But I'm just taking and dipping a paintbrush into the Mod Podge and just lightly brushing it on the little pine needles here, and sprinkling that fine glitter onto it. And this glitter actually came from the Dollar Tree. They come in those little cellophane packets, and there's probably about 5 or 6 in a pack, different colors, and I just got those little containers and put the glitter in, and you can see that it's easy to pick up the tissue and put the excess back into the container. So now it is time to pretty up or embellish, or however you want to look at, just kind of bring it in and make it a bit more full. And like I was saying before, I'm not wanting to glue anything permanently to the lantern. So I'm going to glue all of my picks to the Christmas tree. And I'm, you know, making sure that everything is placed right. Like I said, when I've done other projects, I like to kind of dry fit them, and then I'll go in with the glue and then begin to place them where I want them, you know, where I had pulled them in before. So just taking and putting it in there and making sure that it's glued to the tree, and then pulling in other pieces and, you know, placing them where I think they look good. And guys, this is, you know, this is your take on it. This is how you want it to look and how you want it to come out. And believe me, there's no wrong way to do this, because it's what you like. So play with it, have fun with it, don't be scared of it, because you can pull it out. It's just hot glue. You can definitely pull it out and move it around. So just have fun and decorate it up. Now that we have the top finished, it's time to put a little something something in our inside the lantern. And these lights that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree, they have them kind of all year round for different seasons. And so I've picked these up. I think I actually picked these up this past spring. and just putting the batteries in there. And I know that you can see the batteries and packed there in the front, but after I get everything in, I take a piece of greenery and just kind of just lay it in there on top of it. But I'm just taking some Christmas balls that I have had for a while and kind of putting the lights in, putting a few balls in, putting a few more lights, and so on and so forth, to bring this to life, I guess you can kind of say. And I think that it turned out so cute. And just, in fact, I'm taking this to work with me to put on my desk because I just love it. And I'd started out with 6 Christmas balls and realized that I think I needed a few more, so I went and grabbed a couple of more and made it 8 and got them in there, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. Well, I am so glad that you guys have come along with me today for this project, and I hope that you are enjoying the 12 days of a Rustic Christmas series. I know I have been enjoying bringing it to you, and if you have missed any of the previous 8 days, make sure that you, at the end of this, there will be a link to the playlist, and also up here in the iCards, you will be able to jump over to the playlist and see all day 1 through 8 and get yourselves caught up, because we only have 3 days left, and then it'll be time for a Christmas break. I'm just reminding you guys, I will be going on a little bit of a break, but I will be back January the 5th with a new year and new things happening here on Fixin' To. And I have a question for you. What is your favorite Christmas song? Mine is White Christmas by Bing Crosby, the original version. I don't know what it is about that song, but it is not Christmas until I hear that beautiful song and sung by him. I just love his voice, and I know that kind of dates me a little bit, but I grew up listening to that type of music, and I absolutely loved it a whole lot more. Even when I was little, I loved it more than Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, even though those are great songs. I love Christmas music altogether. But tell me what your favorite Christmas song is. I would love to hear from you. And if no one has told you today, you are worth it. And always remember to keep looking up, because that's where it all is. I'll see you on the next video.